Well, we are back here at the sunflower patch and just checking things out. So it's been a few months now since we planted and tried out planting bird seed for sunflowers to see what would happen. And we also planted some actual sunflower seeds, the silver striped sunflower seeds that I bought in here as well. So if you haven't seen the planting video of the sunflower patch, I'll link to that up there in the card system up there in the upper right hand corner of your screen. So I wanted to give an update on these today and just kind of show you guys how they're doing and what we expect and what we plan to do with these. So what do we have here? We have the black oil sunflower seeds. This is the bird seed. So this was bought as a bag of it's actually called fat bird seed. It's black oil sunflower seeds that they grow locally here. Same sunflower seeds that you would get any bag of bird seed, Walmart bird seed, whatever. It has these black oil sunflower seeds in it. They're a shorter, smaller sunflower, but they produce a real high oil content, high protein content seed. And then in here we have these silver striped. You'll see these taller ones here, and you can see some of the ones out there. We planted a few rows of those in the center. So from the drone footage there, you can kind of see there's a difference in the center section here. And I planted actually rows of these in the center here, as well as scattering a bunch of these larger sunflowers, the silver stripe ones, out in the midst of all these black oil sunflower seeds. So we did have some damage. You can see this big empty spot right here. We had some deer that had liked to come in here when these were real small, and they were nibbling all the sprouts. And so we had a good patch right in here that kind of is kind of lacking. But this good center section here, or the sections on each side, do really, really well, especially this part right here. And so I think we're going to get a good harvest of seeds. It's only beginning of August here today, and so we've still got a few months left of growth. So I think we'll do okay. Even these big ones, they still have time left. So the section that we're out here looking at here, it's just a little kind of U-shaped part of our hayfield that after the first year of cutting this, I realized what a pain it was to circle in this little offshoot part of the field to cut hay. And so I tilled this up as kind of an experimental part or experimental patch. We planted pumpkins here. I've planted the sunflowers now, planted millet. The sunflower, the whole point of the sunflowers is for feed for our animals. So they're good for chicken feed and pig feed. They're also great for oil, sunflower oil, which is what I want to try. Well, hello there, Allie. Decided to join us. I'm going to see if I can kind of get in here without damaging too many sunflowers and just kind of check out what the middle section did. I planted these two different ways. So this section right here was planted with an actual cedar that many of you have seen. I planted some other things with it. I've had mixed luck with the cedar as far as just figuring out the depths and other things. You can see these were just chewed right off. So these larger ones that I planted, there was some kind of row system in here. I think there's a row here and then a row here. And these all did pretty well. I'm pretty sure I got, just as good a germination on these ones that I planted deeper with the actual cedar than I did with all the stuff I planted on the side, which I just broadcast. So I used a seed broadcaster and I just broadcast that seed out here, and then I dragged some chain link fence over it to cover it. So these got planted very shallow, whereas these got planted deeper. And I will say these all sprouted first and they have grown better. They've grown taller. Whereas even the same variety over there, they're not quite as tall, and of course they were shaded out by all these little ones, so maybe that had an effect on them too. But you can see how the deer came in here and snacked a lot of the heads off, and they've been laying in here and stuff too, but they're still doing all right though. And so by broadcasting these super thick, you can see in this patch that didn't have sunflowers grow all the weeds that grew up. And in the patches that have sunflowers, obviously they shaded the weeds right out. The sunflowers grew taller than the weeds quicker. You can see these little paths here where nothing was planted, in the middle here, just weeds grew up. And when you plant them real dense like this, it just shades all the weeds out. So no herbicides, no pesticides, no fertilizers out here this year. So you can plant birdseed and grow sunflowers. That has been proven here. I actually did a lot of research on, where do you get black oil sunflower seeds? Because I wanted to plant those and grow them here. And they're actually really hard to find. And because I thought that the seed, you know, that a farmer would buy to plant in a field was different than like the bags of bird seed that you're getting at the feed store. I even asked the people at the feed store, I said, can I plant these? And they said, we don't really know. You probably can try, but you're not going to get very much, or they won't really grow well. And so we'll see. I don't know the history of the black oil sunflower seed. I know that they are kind of a commodity crop now, and they have been probably hybridized and other things, you know, GMO'd and all that kind of stuff. And so I don't know what the you know, genetics of these are. So the real question still remains is, will I get seeds out of this? Will these little stalks, they're about 4 feet tall, will these, you know, be able to support a head big enough and maintain that head long enough to actually produce some good black oil sunflower seeds? So we're going to see. I'm assuming that I have about 60 days, a good 60 days left of growing time. Sunflowers will grow into the fall a little bit. Here in Michigan, our earliest frost date can be about October 15th. And so we've got until about then before they're done growing. They're going to slow down as the sun, you know, days get shorter and other things like that. Now the taller ones, those are kind of like the giant mammoth Russian sunflowers. They're very similar to that variety. I'll put a link in the description to where I got the seeds from. Those are a different variety, and those are a variety that's meant to be grown for gardeners and things like that. You can buy actual, you know, bags of seed, and those I have not seen too many big heads on those yet, so we'll see if those still have enough time yet. I don't know. So there's still two things that we have to overcome here. We have to harvest the sunflowers. The only way to really do this, I don't have a combine, I don't have any mechanical means of harvesting sunflowers. I have looked around for a 3-point driven sunflower head and things like that, have not been able to find one. That would be ideal. I could pull it with my tractor and harvest these. But right now it looks like I'm going to be manually harvesting these, which means that I will have to come out here with a tractor and cart of some sort and pull it through here while my family and I, the kids, the wife, who, you know, all of us come out here and cut heads off of the sunflowers with some type of a like little hand sickle or knife or something like that, a machete. Cut the sunflower heads off and throw them in the trailer. Then we'll have to take them up to the house or barn, and we will have to process them. I'm gonna try to devise a machine, a home-built machine to do that. My plan is to build some kind of a barrel system with spikes in it that spins around. You'll be able to feed the heads in one end, and they'll beat around in there until all the seeds fall through some smaller holes, and then we'll get the seeds out. That's the plan. I've never done this before, so we'll see how that works. Maybe we'll look around the line and see if there's any other ideas out there for that. But the sunflower patch is doing well. The next time that you see this patch, other than on Instagram stories and Facebook, will probably be when we harvest. So stick around for that. We'll be late September, early October sometime. We'll get out here and we'll start harvesting. We'll see what we get, and then we're going to be separating the seeds and pressing some of them into oil. That's the plan. Again, this is kind of all experimental for me, and so there'll be some trial and error. We'll figure out what works, what doesn't work, if this is possible, if it's feasible, and we'll go from there. So you and I will all find out together whether this was worth the effort or not, and that's why it's an experiment. We'll see. Sometimes they go well. Sometimes it'll go well enough. If this goes well enough for me this year, I'm able to get something worthwhile out of this patch. Then next year, maybe we upgrade a little bit and we get some equipment and we plant more sunflowers. And so we'll see. If this doesn't work out, if it's not worthwhile for me, then we will scrap this. We'll re-fertilize this with composted manures, and we will plant something else here next year. So any ideas? What should I try next? What should next year's crop be? What would you like to see me try out here on the hobby farm experiment patch? We'll call it. So let me know what you guys think of the sunflowers. They're doing well. They're actually doing a lot better than I thought. No watering, no fertilizing, nothing out here. This is just native soil. I haven't even put any manures out here. This has only been tilled in from the weeds and other things, millet and things like that was left out here. That's been tilled into the soil. That's the only nutrients that this has gotten. And so I know that it's not going to grow as well as the fertilized sunflower fields out there and the GMO stuff. And it's also planted way too close together. But I think it will do all right, and so we'll see. Stick around for future videos on the sunflower patch. Don't forget to hit thumbs up on today's video. And of course, subscribe if you'd like to follow and see what comes next. So, and as always, guys, thanks for watching. Have a good one.